Buongiorno everybody. Welcome to Dorina's Kitchen. It's another beautiful day here down near the beach in Delaware, and I'm going to bring you something really yummy to bring to the table today. So I have a lot of people who are at opposite extremes on their thoughts on cauliflower, cavolfiore in Italian. So, you know, I always swear that there's no food you don't like. Change that thought in your head. It's just food you haven't had the right way yet. So today I'm going to teach you, this is kind of a fun one. It's not one I do all the time because I tend to not always do a creamy, saucy thing. Anyway, so right now we are going to make a baked cauliflower dish. They would call it in Italian cavolfiore gratinati. So we are just taking, I've got a nice cauliflower, I've already washed it. I'm going to just cut off the end. Get all these leaves off here. And I'm just going to kind of cut a little bit of the core out. Now there's lots of ways to do this. This way makes for prettier florets, if you want to call it. And basically what you're just going to do is you're going to break off the florets. Now, you know, sometimes you get a cauliflower that's got lots of little florets on it, and sometimes you got them that are these nice big fat chunky ones. It all depends on how much you like cauliflower and how much you like everything that's going around it. So like, I'm going to break these apart and see how pretty they are. So there's two ways you can do this. You can just get started like these. If you like cauliflower and you like it a little crunchier, then by all means you can do this without blanching it first. But the actual way to do this, because you don't want to overcook the cheese that's going to go on top, you really kind of want to semi-cook these first. That way when you put it in, you're kind of just gelling it together. So I am going to break these into halves, these big ones, but I'm going to try to do it as naturally as possible. So I'm not going to cut all the way through the top. I'm going to cut through the stem and then break it so it's got a little, you know, you want, sometimes especially when you have company, you want to make them prettier. So really quickly, I'm just going to throw these, I've got a pot of water going. I'm just going to blanch them. Actually, I'm just going to use the dish we're going to cook in after. I'm just going to blanch these. I'm just going to cook them for these 5 minutes while we're getting the other piece put together. So now we're going to make a light, not too thick bechamel sauce. So we're going to, first thing I'm going to do, I've got 350 grams, it's about a cup and a half of water, cup and a half, a little bit more. When you're making a bechamel sauce, you always want to use warm water. It just works so much better, so much faster. Okay, now in our other pot here, we are going to start with 30 grams of butter. So that's about 2 tablespoons. And then 20 grams of flour, which is probably also about 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna let the butter melt there real quick. The other ingredients you wanna have handy: nutmeg, you know me, I like my whole nuts with my little grater. You want to have salt and pepper, and you wanna have some grated Parmesan cheese. Now, you can use Reggiano Parmigiano, you can use Pecorino Romano. This particular time today, I'm using the Parmigiano because I switch them off. I always have both on hand. They have little bit of different flavor, different pungency. Use what you like. The Parmigiano, I think, sometimes melts a little bit better, so I like that. It makes a good topping because that's what it's going to do here. All right, so my butter is almost melted. Okay, here we go. So now I'm going to add my 20 grams of flour. So I've got this is all of, I'm telling you, you know, just a little bit. It's not much. And now this is beautifully getting warm. Oh, nice and warm. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pouring in my warm water into my sauce here, into my flour and my butter, which is going to thicken it. Okay, I can turn that last burner off. Move that over there. And now I'm just going to let this get completely warmed up together. Make sure you don't have any lumps and bumps. Okay, so now this is important. Get these things out of the way here. The nutmeg. Gotta love nutmeg. Now, so we're gonna put nutmeg in here. Probably a third of a nut, maybe not more than half. If there's a little chunk, we don't want that in there. I love, 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 love. Now, a lot of people will put regular, I'm just putting a little salt in here. I don't want too much. I'm putting cheese on top. People will put pepper. And it's salt and pepper, of course, and nutmeg is all to your taste. But I like to, now the nutmeg, of course, gives it color also. But I like using, in my bechamel, I like using white pepper. It's got a little bit of a nicer, kind of a calmer, smoother flavor. It's still peppery, and if you like black pepper, by all means, use black pepper, but I like using a shake of white pepper. This is just another Doreen thing. So we're just gonna let this go another minute. You don't want it really thick because you want to pour it over the cauliflower. So here we go. And in just about a second here, the cauliflower is cooking, but I don't want it to get mushy. I just want it to get started, because then I'm going to put it in the oven. It's going to already be hot, and it's going to be really nice. You know, you can, now, everywhere you see a recipe for bechamel, it will tell you to use whole milk and sometimes even cream. And yes, you will get the creamiest. But if you're trying to not have so much fat, now don't forget, some fat is good for you, you know, like this kind. No, I'm just kidding. Never trust a skinny Italian chef, you know. Anyway, but what you want to do is, you know, you can make this, like, let's just say you only buy 2% milk. You can make a bechamel out of 2% milk, by all means. Sorry, I'm turning this down because this is getting thicker, and I don't want it to get too thick. I want to be able to pour it over the top. All right, might be a little out of camera here, but let me get my cauliflower that has been blanching. Okay. Now, I didn't this time, but you can, and I would just say lightly salt your water. Ooh, look at that. Woo! If you want, but honestly, the pinch of salt you put in the bechamel and the cheese is going to be salty enough. So don't think that you have to worry about what you've done to the cauliflower. This is a simple dish, but it just adds enough flavor to it to make it really yummy. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my bechamel and carefully pour it over so you can see how it's still pourable. And this is over a whole head of cauliflower. So you're getting a pretty good amount of yum here. Oh yeah. And this is obviously your typical, you know, square little baking dish. I think that's 8 by 8 or 9 by 9, whatever it is. I don't need that water to continue cooking. Okay, so I've got this pretty sauced stuff here that's nice and flavored. I can smell the nutmeg. And now I'm just going to give it a little layer of cheese. So this is Parmesan. I like to cover every little kind of nook and cranny because this is ultimately going to brown on top. Okay, boom. And that's really it. Now, there is something else you can do if you want to add another layer of excitement to it, but this is completely gluten-free. But if you don't care, get some little bit of breadcrumbs that you've mixed together with maybe just a pinch of salt and pepper and a little bit of olive oil to moisten them. You could also sprinkle those on top, and then it adds, this when it cooks adds one layer of kind of crunch and texture because the cheese kind of gets, you know, brown and a little bubbly on top. And if you let it sit for a minute, it can be kind of gooey and kind of crispy. But if you add a little bit of breadcrumbs on top, you can do that also, and that's another option. You know, when you have a base recipe, when you can, you know, have something simple like this, there's a million things you can do with it. You could do this same dish, do your cauliflower, toss it in olive oil, leave the cream sauce off, and just do the cheese and the breadcrumbs on top, or one or the other. And you, again, it's a variation of another side baked cauliflower. You could do the same dish with broccoli. If you do it with broccoli, I would not blanch it first because broccoli cooks a lot faster than cauliflower. You could also do it with like Romanesco cauliflower, those green pointy ones, which I have one of. I'm going to do something this week. So yummy. So anyway, options, but know your things. You could also add a little bit of hot pepper to this. I'm going to do that just to make Pasquale happy. But again, all up to you. So we're going to put this in the oven. Hold on. Now, once it's been in the oven, you can do this. Broil and start. Because guess what? I have another one in the oven. So that one is going on broil now just for about 2 minutes. 2, 3, 4, depending on how hot your oven already is. And we're just gonna brown the top a little bit more. I put that in just before, literally the minute before we started on here. So it was in the oven about 16 minutes. And now I'm just putting the broiler on, and the oven wasn't fully hot yet. So, you know, within 20 minutes or so, you're gonna have this out of the oven. But all told, 100%, the whole thing takes about, you know, half an hour, but it's only about 5-10 minutes of prep time. It's not too bad, you know, quick and easy. Now, this can go a couple more minutes, but I wanted to show you and not keep you forever. But it's starting to get brown on top, and it is just sizzly, a little bit melty. You know, it's got the sauce, the creaminess, a little bit of crisp. I'm not trying it because it's sizzling hot, so I'm not going to taste it right this second, but I've had it before. But anyway, I hope that you'll try this, bring it to your table. I think the kids will like it. Even, you know, I know my husband's going to like it. You know, when I first met him, he hated cauliflower. He would not eat cauliflower for anything. Guess what? He loves it now. So whether it's fried cauliflower, baked cauliflower, cauliflower soup, soup with cauliflower in it, things like this, baked. There's so many ways you can do every vegetable. So bring some more of them to your table and have a nice side dish like this. So anyway, have a wonderful day. It's beautiful and sunny here. I hope it's that way there. Please vote for me on the favorite chef competition. The links are all over my Facebook page right now. Really trying hard to win that. It's a really big prize and I could really use it. And it'll help me bring more good stuff to you guys. And please do me a favor, share some of these videos, share my Dorina's Kitchen page with all your friends. My new goal, you know, last year it was get 1,000 on YouTube. This year it's getting 10,000 on Facebook, and I'm at 3,000, so I'm pretty good. But so anyway, if you wouldn't mind sharing my stuff if you like it, I'd really appreciate it. And I guess that's about it. If you need any spices, check out my link for FreshJax Spices. They are organic, they're a small family business, they're awesome, and they're giving 15% off to all my viewers. And so, you know, check it out. They're really cool. And they're really nice people too. So that's even better. So anyway, have a good day, and I will see you. Buon appetito. Mwah. Ciao.